welcome back to the channel. Please remember to hit like, share, and subscribe, and especially if you like these little videos that I'm doing. So this story here is over my second car. Like I said on the story with my first car, I sold my first car the summer that I graduated high school. I had some cash, and a friend of our family was selling their car. It was an 83 Mercury Cougar. And so again, I bought an 11-year-old car, but this Cougar had the 5.0 engine in it. It was the first year of the Fox body style Cougars and Thunderbirds. So, you know, the Thunderbird had the slope back, it had the fast back look, and the Cougar had a notch back. And which I always thought the Cougar looked better anyway. Maybe because I own one, I don't know. So went to go sell the car. I bought it for a massive $500. And I mean, he told me, he goes, yeah, it has some problems, you know, but you know, the power steering leaks, that needs to be replaced. AC doesn't work. Great, I got another car with no AC. You know, a couple other problems here or there. It wasn't major, but the interior was in good shape. You know, the headliner was falling, but you know, what car from the 80s that didn't have a headliner that was falling? And so first thing I did, I bought the car, and I mean the power steering fluid leak was so bad that he had put duct tape around the leak, and it was basically where the rubber hose and the metal fitting to the power steering pump was, connects, and so he just put duct tape around it, and that was his fix. So I drove it to Beaumont. I lived in Lumberton, drove it to Beaumont, and by the time I came back, the power steering pretty much had no fluid in it. And so that's how bad it was leaking. Lumberton to Beaumont's like 20 miles. And so it wouldn't even go 40 miles before it was empty on power steering fluid. So I went to AutoZone or wherever, got the power steering hose, got up underneath the car, and took the hose off. That was no problem. And went to go stab the hose back into the power steering rack. I fought this for at least an hour, if not longer, and I just could not get it to thread. I could not get it to make that connection, get that first thread in there. The angle I was at, or the angle it was at, or whatever, it just wouldn't. I was so mad. So I think it was a Wednesday night because it was church, or it might have been Monday, I don't know. So took my mom's car to church, and my dad got home. He goes, Alan had all kinds of problems. She's like, Alan had all kinds of problem with getting the power steering hose in. Can you see what you can do? He goes, yeah, sure. He gets under the car. He fights it for like an hour. Could not get this thing to connect. Finally, he gives up. I get home. He tells me, he goes, I don't know what they did. He goes, I don't know if those threads are messed up or what. He goes, I just can't get it on there. So the next morning, I get up. I'm bound and determined to get this thing fixed. So I get up underneath the car. I'm not lying to you. The first time, just immediately just went, whoop, and it caught the thread. I'm like, son of a gun. We worked on this for like 2.5, 3 hours. Could not get it working. First time the next day. So we fixed the power steering fluid leak. I had the car for probably maybe 9 months, 8 months, and it started leaking, I think, from the water pump. But to get to the water pump, you had to take off the intake manifold. I don't know. Anyway, I wasn't mechanically inclined at that time, so we just took it to our mechanic. And so we took it to the mechanic. They did the work. We picked it up. I started driving it home, and my parents are in front of me. I'm behind them. And then we get, I'm not kidding you, probably a mile down the road. The oil light comes on, starts knocking. So I immediately pull over. At that time, Lucid, cool. My expertise in mechanical is turn it off, turn it back on, and see if it fixes it. Well, it fixed it. It stopped knocking. The oil light was off. No gauge. You couldn't tell me what the oil pressure was. It just gave you a light when something was wrong. Start driving down the road again. Does the same thing. Light comes on, starts knocking. I immediately turn around, go back to the mechanic. My parents notice I'm not behind them. They do the same thing. And I'm like, so I told our mechanic, Mr. Hammock, what was going on. And so they called the mechanic that did the work. He goes, yeah, when we pulled off the intake, there was just all this sludge. Who knows, it might have been a head gasket. I don't know. But he goes, yeah, there was all this sludge in there, and we dug it out, and he goes, we got like a coffee can full of sludge. It's probably what's happening is some of that sludge broke up, and the oil pan, he goes, as you're driving, it warms up, gets sucked into the screen of the pump, and it's choking off the oil pump. And he goes, so he gave me some things to try, diesel fluid or diesel, put in there, clean it, drain the oil, tried a couple of different things. That never worked. So he goes, well, we're going to have to drop the pan and scoop out the sludge and everything. The problem was, because it was the 5.0, the pickup tube and everything was inside the oil pan. The oil pan went over the suspension. So to get it out, you had to unbolt it from the motor mounts, jack the engine up, and then unbolt the oil pan and drop it. Well, we didn't have the tools for that, and I didn't have the money for that. I just spent money on getting the other thing fixed. So it just sat, and I mean, it sat for like a year. Finally raised enough money, saved up enough money. I was going to school at the time. I wasn't working much, or wasn't working. I was going to school, and finally got some money, took it over to the mechanic, said, okay, now fix it. And so sure enough, he said, man, it was just like sludge, like the, tar pit in there. And so they changed out the, oil pump. They changed out the screen. They did a good job. So we got the car back, and it ran pretty good. I never had any problem. I mean, I drove that car 100 miles with low oil pressure and knocking, and it did not hurt the performance of the car whatsoever. So those old Ford 305s or the 302s, the 5.0s, man, you just couldn't kill those things, and even with low oil pressure. Going to buy me my first nice car, a car with air conditioning, that wasn't a hoopty, that cost more than $500. And so went to the dealership, found a car, made the deal. I had them give me $500 for this Cougar. That was probably worth like 100 or 2 at best. Again, this was like 96. And got to give them, I think it was like $5,000. I gave, I was putting $500 down, $500 for my car. So I was financing like $4,000. And the night before I went to trade it in, me and my girlfriend, wife now, went to the movie store, kind of like a Blockbuster, and picked up a VHS tape, got into the car, and it would not start. It barely would turn over. I'm like, oh dear God. I got mad, I slammed the hood. I slammed it so hard, I bent the catch for the hood latch. And like, great. So we let it sit there for a while, 2 hours. We went to my sister's, watched a movie, came back, started it up. Sure enough, it started right up, no problem. Hood was still not latching good, but I figured I could fix that. So I drove it to my sister's, left it there. Next morning, get up, I fix the hood latch, it starts right up. So I turn it off, I wait until we're ready to go, sign the paper on the car. And started up, no problem, drove it down there, no problem. I was just hoping they didn't have to drive this car again, because I didn't know if it was going to start, and I didn't have any more money to put down on it, on the new one. Luckily, we got there. They didn't need to, drive the car anymore, or again. We signed the papers. I drove off. I don't know what happened to that car. I don't know if they had to tow it off or what, but yeah. So that was the Cougar. My second car was still a hoopty. My third car, the one we traded it in, that was my first nice car. And that car I would love still to have, but that's for another video. So until next time.